Welcome to the Raven Lunatics, episode 8. I'm Dwight McPherson, comic creator, writer, editor, publisher, and I'm joined by my partner in crime.
I'm Chris Sittner, the curator of the Edgar Allan Poe Museum in Richmond.
And a super talented artist. We'll have to show his painting on it.
We're joined by Rebecca.
We are joined by my wife, Rebecca McPherson. She is the editor of the Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe. So she's read to the end of the story. Yeah, so.
I can't say. On pain of death.
Yeah, on pain of death, she cannot reveal the end. It's been a while since we've done an episode, and there's very good reason for that. Chris and I have been super, super busy. Chris, you want to talk about what you've been up to?
Well, last episode was September, and as you know, at the Poe Museum, October is sort of our Christmas time. We're super slammed with all sorts of events and book signings and Halloween activities. We had a big unhappy hour and did a few performances as Poe, and even just this week I did some more performances with the Latin Ballet of Virginia, dressed up as Poe and gave some readings. But the museum's just been slam-packed with all sorts of things going on. We had a big Poe birthday bash in January from noon to midnight with events, bands, tours, performances, every hour, all the way up till midnight. We had Poe movies there, Poe films was there, WCV, our local PBS station, was there, and lots of good activities, lots of Poe fun for the whole family, right up to that champagne toast at midnight. And it hadn't slowed down yet, so we continue to have events, and now spring is upon us. So we have, coming up in April 16th at 6 o'clock, we're having Kat Winters. And she is going to come and do a book signing for her brand new book, The Raven's Tale. And I think we're her first stop on her tour, so where else would you go? And then after that, on the 25th of April, we have the first unhappy hour of the season. And it's 6 to 9 p.m. You come there after work. You spend a few hours, live music and a cash bar, food from local restaurants, and you get to see what we've changed in our exhibits. Every month or so, we change at least 3 of the cases out, so we're always switching up things. And we've had a busy year with acquisitions. Just recently, I was able to get some more first editions and first printings, including for all of those seashell fans out there. We got a copy of Poe's textbook on seashells, the conchologist's first book. So you don't want to miss that. I've already put that on display. And then just last week, I was able to get a Poe letter. And this was written about a year before he died. And he's asking for money from one of his foster uncles, somebody he thought could help him in a time of crisis. It's roughly a year after his wife died. He's fallen hard times. He's fallen in love with a lady in Lowell, Massachusetts, who won't love him. She can't leave her husband for him. So then he fell in love with a lady in Providence, Rhode Island. And it looks like this point, he says, I'm finally able to pull myself up out of all the obstacles and the hardship that I've suffered all these years. And I'm going to start a magazine and finally establish myself, finally be able to settle down. If you can just loan me $200 right now. And unfortunately, the recipient of the letter couldn't. Right. But he did hold on to that letter, and it went all the way to his great-great-great-granddaughter, who's now sent it to the museum so it can be shared with the public.
That's great.
That is awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I read the transcript of the letter. That is amazing. What a treasure. Yeah, and if our viewers have not been to the Poe Museum in Richmond, I mean, we cannot recommend it highly enough. We had a personal tour from the curator, actually, when we were there. And let me tell you, there are all kinds of treasures in there. I mean, it's like a treasure trove. I'd like to put like a cot in there and like sleep, you know.
Actually, we should post up a picture of you during your visit.
There you go.
He's like a completely different person. You don't have the facial hair yet.
Yeah, I know.
You look different.
Somebody asked if that was my brother. Actually, I was like, no, that's me. I mean, yeah, I look a lot different without the facial. Yeah, that was like 10 years ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we're right about the 10th anniversary. So the cats weren't even born yet.
No, they weren't. Oh my gosh. Okay, I already feel old.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, well, what we've been up to is we've had a Kickstarter, successful Kickstarter for the Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe issue 5. And we also released a trade paperback, which Rebecca will show here for me. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. You supported that, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
gorgeous. You'll get your
it really is gorgeous. It's an oversized trade paperback,
Yes.
96 pages. You know, everybody supported the Kickstarter will get a signed copy, and guess what? They're available on Amazon, but they're not signed. So people can order the book through Amazon and they can get the trade paperback. Now, as far as issue 5, it's exclusive. So there's some really cool background material, you know, back matter that we put in the book, and an extra story that only our Kickstarter supporters will be able to read. I've been doing a ton of research on another project, and also formulating an idea for Terra Somnium of where we can go from here after issue 12 of the Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe, which will complete the series. Issue 7 is in production right now, so issue 6 is wrapped. It's in the can. So we'll be getting ready to start a Kickstarter here in the near future. What else have we been up to?
We've also are getting ready to release issue 4 of Houdini's Silver Dollar Misfits.
Yes.
That will be on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. And that completes that story as well.
And we are going to collect that as well.
Absolutely.
Which, you know, I had to throw a couple little nods in there to Edgar Allan Poe. So you may catch a little Easter egg in Houdini Silver Dollar Misfits. And it's available on Comixology and Amazon Kindle. So we've been super busy.
Right. Yes, it's hard to believe it. It's already April. In fact, it's funny. I was talking to him before we started the taping. Was back in June. We interviewed Cat Winters, and we thought it was such a long ways away. It's like, oh, next April 19th, and here we are.
Right. and we'll be talking with Cat Winters, and it's really cool because if you watch a show, both Chris and I have a quote that's on the book, so it's really cool. And we have a
different copy. This is uncorrected proof. So
yeah, you got a copy of that as well, right, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was good, wasn't it? It was really good.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it.
So excited. And Cat Winters, she has a forward in our
yes, she does. So. She's become a friend, you know, because of Poe, and we continue to make new friends every day because of our, you know, love for Edgar Allan Poe. And it's funny to see people from all different walks of life, you know, that have said, oh, wow, I love Edgar Allan Poe. So I've had a lot of people talk to me about the show as well, that they really enjoyed the show. When are we going to come back? What's going on? We're back on schedule, folks, and we are going to have some new episodes. And I know that, you know, I have several people that have contacted me about being on the show. And Chris, you have some people as well. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I've got lots of people I'm interested in bringing on. And for those of you out there who would like to join us, just maybe contact Dwight or put your information down in the comments section so Dwight can get in touch with you. Because we'd love to share what's going on in the whole greater Poe community out there and try to connect as many people as we can.
Right. Yeah, like I said, there's people from all different walks of life. I mean, Rebecca just encountered somebody and showed her the graphic novel, and she's like, oh my gosh, I love Poe. And she never would have dreamed that she was a Poe fan. And
her daughter was having trouble reading. She didn't find it very enjoyable. So graphic novels have been able to help her as well. So she was in love with the book. She was overjoyed. So.
Yes. I mean, I'm huge on that. I know that having an autistic son that was a reluctant reader, I could get them to read comics. So I had my kids that I was able to use as a sounding board for the Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe, and they actually are the ones who came up with Edgar Allan Poe. And I'll be talking about that in the next Kickstarter. That'll be in the back matter for issue 6, Why Pooh, for my book. So if you support our Kickstarter, you will know why I chose that name of all names. If you don't, you'll just have to formulate your own opinion.
Wonder about it.
So that's about it. I just wanted to do an episode to let you guys know that, we are still doing the show and we're still committed to the show. It's just been, we're
just slackers. We're incredible slackers.
Yeah. Unlike Poe, who was so prolific in the amount of time that he had.
True, yes, that's true. No, I feel like a slacker.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate you.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah. So we're back. We're going to do some more shows in the future, and I may drag Rebecca back in here because she gives a unique perspective, with her background in film and plays and doing production in Hollywood and New York City. And, her past is extremely interesting.
Oh, gosh.
So she brings a unique perspective as well, and she's extremely well read. So, and a huge Poe fan.
And speaking of which, I have a recommendation.
Yes.
Oh yeah, go ahead and buy one of those too while you're at it.
Hell yeah! It's like going to Edgar Allan Poe class 101. I mean, it's just like head on.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's a mystery. I mean, it's very extremely well done.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Where can they get your book, The Poe Shrine, Chris?
Well, you can get it at the Poe Museum, the Poe Museum's online store. You can just get it on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com or Target.com. So it's really all over the place.
Good.
Outstanding.
It's accessible.
Outstanding. Yeah. And it's well worth the read. I mean, trust me, it's not boring in the least. No. It's extremely a page turner. It's definitely a page turner.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
and definitely you guys got to go out there and read The Imaginary Voyages, because it's really, they don't mention this, but it's just a beautiful book to look at. It's flipping through the illustrations, the range of colors and tones. And then, of course, it's a fun story that just pulls you through it.
We've got a lot of feedback from it, and we hope the whole world finds out about it. It's a great story.
We do. And we're in the process of getting the book out there. So if you're a librarian or an educator, contact us in the comments below, and we'd love to talk with you. We do have a PDF version that's available for librarians and teachers. So if you would like to check out the book, we have James Cottle and Tim Smith that's working on a teacher's guide for the graphic novel as well. Absolutely. And you're the first ones to hear that. But a lot of exciting things going on with the Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe and Terra Somnium. If you've not checked that out, you can check that out on Lime Webtoons. And we have more in the plan and more in the works for Terra Somnium as well. So exciting times for us, exciting times for you, Chris. And we just look forward to what the future holds and what guests we can talk to. And it's going to be great. So we thank you, to those of you who have subscribed. And if you haven't, subscribe, like the video, comment. We love to hear your comments. We're working right now with Peter Steiner, our amazing man. He does it all, doesn't he? Production manager.
Put it all to one word.
He's production manager. Man, what would you call him? Like
he gets the stuff ready for print. I mean,
he does everything.
It's insane.
He's working on the web store right now. We are actually gonna release some exclusive Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe, stuff. We'll just say.
We'll just leave it there right now.
Yeah, but we're really excited about it, and there's going to be
people who subscribe to our newsletter will always find out about that stuff first. So
if you go to hpcomics.net, then as soon as you get there, you'll get a pop-up window. You can sign up for our newsletter, and we share exclusives there that you can't get anywhere else before we release them to anybody. Man,
I
what
know.
else? It's crazy.
It's
It's
just-
crazy
yes.
busy, but we're excited. We're excited about what the future holds for the Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe, and really excited about the Raven Lunatics because we have some great guests that are going to be joining us in the very near future.
We should also do a show from the Poe Museum one day.
We should definitely
That's
do.
the ultimate.
Yes, and Chris, you need to record what you can of Cat Winners at the
All right.
museum.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we'll catch up on that one. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. Kat's been amazing, and she loves Poe. So
who doesn't?
Yeah. Well, nobody I can.
We don't know them. Okay.
Yeah. We don't hang out with people that don't like Poe. Okay. I mean, let's be for real. But
thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. Has been a long silence there, so we apologize.
It has. It has. Anybody who's been following me or Chris on social media, you can see we've been extremely busy. So we're going to share some pictures on here of Chris as Poe.
Yes.
And
Well
I know
done,
you got
sir.
some great things coming up at the Poe Museum as well that you've already spoken about. What happened? Is the virtual Poe still going on, or?
Yeah, we're still working on doing our online exhibits. We've got an online exhibit of James Carling's illustrations for the Raven. That's coming up next. And after that, we're going to do one of Poe versus Griswold. So it's the story of Edgar Allan Poe and his worst enemy, Rufus W. Griswold, the rivalry, and ultimately how Griswold tried to defame Poe's character with a libelous biography that turns out making Poe more popular. And we've collected a lot of Griswold letters and manuscripts and Poe's manuscripts that Griswold owns, so we can put these all together and make a nice little online exhibit for that. And plus there's a virtual tour of Poe's Richmond, so lots of good stuff going on. And during the summer, the museum really comes to life. It's April now, so the garden is just full of blooms. There's hyacinth and tulip and daffodils. And that's really the best time to see the garden. So it's also National Poetry Month. So this is the month that you have an excuse to go out there and read Poe's poetry out loud. Doesn't matter if anybody's listening to it or not. Or Dwight, you can read it out loud to Rebecca. She can read her favorite poems to you. And just, this is your perfect month to really enjoy poetry. And to enjoy Poe's poetry, you have to read it out loud. You have to hear it. So that's why every Sunday, starting this Sunday, we're having poetry readings in the garden at 2 p.m. for the rest of the summer, all the way up through October. So definitely you want to come down there. If you're going to tour the museum, why don't you take a tour at 1 o'clock, and then at 2 o'clock you can hear a reading of The Conqueror Worm or The Dream Within a Dream. You never know what he's going to read from one month to the next. We bring in guest speakers, so they'll talk about various Poe-related subjects. So take advantage of it. But if you have one day that you can visit, be sure April 16th, because that's when Cat Winters is going to speak about her book, and you get to have a chance to get a signed copy before anyone else does, so you'll be the envy of all your friends.
There you
Yes.
go.
And it's wonderful. I mean, I've read it. Rebecca's read it. It's fantastic. Our sons have read it, and they really, really liked it. So, I've always said that Poe was a poet first. I mean, he definitely had a poet's soul, and that comes through in all of his work, I believe. So, a poet first and an author second. So,
Well, poetry for our life stories.
We do. And we like to read,
yes,
every now and then I'll try to put on my good Scottish brogue and read some Robbie Burns to her. And Robbie. I won't do that now. My Scottish accent is terrible. But I try. You know what I mean? All right. I guess that's all we've got for now, but we thank you for tuning in, and we thank you for your patience. And we hope you subscribe and you'll like it, and you'll let us know what you think. And if you would like to be on the show, or you have somebody in mind that you'd like to see on the show, let us know. We read the comments, and we try to answer all of them. And we want to have a connection with you as well, where we're all connected by Poe.
Whole community.
One Poe community, as Chris said. So that's it for the Raven Lunatics for this time. And I'm Dwight McPherson. This is Rebecca and Chris.
I'm Chris. So
that's right.
Goodbye from Virginia.
Yes.
And goodbye from Florida.
Sunny Florida.
And we'll see you the same Poe time, same Poe channel.
See you then.
Take care,
Bye.
guys.